Hello, I am Paul Rowley.
And I'm Rachel Wagoner.
And welcome to Farm and Dairy's virtual newsletter, where we will be giving you a rundown of all of the news this week. Our co-host, Liz Parsh, is actually out once again this week.
Doing professional development. She's not on vacation this time.
So it's really wonderful for her. And Rachel, our editor, is joining us again. Rachel, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad to have you here. Before we start, I just wanted to make a quick note of something our readers and which listeners and watchers might pick up on. I'm a little bit acting in a diminished capacity today, as earlier this week I was stricken with a violent bout of neurovirus or food poisoning or something, and it was a debilitating experience to say the least. So all those folks out there listening or watching or who feel, I'm sorry about how disturbing, sight of me might be. But also for those of you who have yourselves experienced a wretched and sudden illness, you are valid and seen, and let's chat about it because it is absolutely miserable.
I think you still look good. For the record. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Moving on, some people start their day with a smell of fresh brewed coffee. In Macomb, Ohio, it starts with something a little bit stronger for some folks.
Ooh, like what?
The smell of manure. I really don't want to think about how that would affect my stomach right now if I was there in person to experience it again. But anyway, for farmer Anthony Statler, manure is actually more than just animal byproduct or waste. It's actually a vital tool. In fact, he told a group of journalists and media professionals, myself included, on a tour of his farm on June 9th, that he thinks of manure like a vitamin, sort of like a shot of B12 for your land.
Shot of vitamin M.
That's right, at vitamin M.
Nice.
In other words, synthetic fertilizers, they'll give you the basics, what you need to get going for the day. But manure gives you the whole package, the range of things your land should have. And several farms, actually, in Northwest Ohio opened their gates this week for a tour that was sponsored by the Ohio Agriculture Conservation Initiative, showing off how farmers are combining traditional methods with tech that is meant to protect their land and the water that we all rely on. At the heart of their progress that they've made is a program called H2 Ohio, which you've probably no doubt heard me talk about a lot. It's the state's,
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yes, indeed. The state's ambitious plan to protect local waterways, including Lake Erie, by helping farmers adopt better practices, smarter science-based conservation methods that do all of those things I talked about. It helps fund everything from GPS-guided manure spreaders, which is cool, to soil testing, very cool, and even providing for strip till machines, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
But all that progress may soon be at risk because proposed budget cuts in the Ohio House could slash H2 Ohio's budget by more than $120 million over 2 years, which is quite a lot of money. Statler's 1,000-acre operation also is part of the Blanchard River Demonstration Farms Network, which is a decade-long research project that is actually ending this year. His commitment to progress, though, is not over. Despite the fact that demonstration project is ending, in nearby neighboring Forest, Ohio, Bill Kellogg agrees that H2 Ohio is really making conservation possible for farmers like him. That's not making it any easier. He's using everything from cover crops to precision tech to reduce runoff, which H2 Ohio champions. But if the funding dries up, he told our group that what we've done at this point will pretty much be wasted. Real change takes commitment, collaboration, but it also crucially takes consistency as well.
And money.
And money, right. And with funding with H2 Ohio at stake, the question, of course, is not whether H2 Ohio farmers can actually lead on clean water, is that whether the state will keep giving them the tools to do so. Meanwhile, in another area where, the legislators are letting people down, when the federal government makes a deal, farmers, almost more than anyone else, really expects that deal to be held firm. But in Pennsylvania, nearly 200 farms, and then also quite a lot of hungry families were just told the deal is actually off. On June 4th, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, he stood at a major food distribution warehouse in the Philadelphia area with a message. He is suing the U.S. Department of Agriculture over its sudden cancellation of a very large and important $13 million food assistance program. Yes, that is very apt right now. He was really blunt of his assessment of the situation, saying, I don't get what the hell their priorities are if they are not about feeding people and taking care of our farmers.
Hang on, I got one. That's badass. Right. That's a good Josh Shapiro.
Yeah. Very based Josh Shapiro. He's not the only one sounding the alarm about this program cancellation. The program in question is called the Local Food Purchasing Assistance Program.
That's a mouthful.
It really is. And it was meant to keep mouths full, Rachel, okay? And this is what its goals were to keep Pennsylvania farmers in business and also get fresh local produce into the hands of struggling families.
What more could you want?
Really?
USDA?
Indeed. But in March, the USDA abruptly canceled this agreement. There was no negotiation. There was no warning. It was just a 60-day termination notice slid across the table. Bye-bye. So where did this press conference actually take place? It happened in the Share Food Program Food Bank, which serves quite a lot of people in the Philadelphia area and beyond, over 500,000, in fact, with more than, I think, half of those recipients of the services of the food bank being children.
Innocent children.
Right, children, right. Let that sink in. The USDA claims that the food assistance program they cut no longer aligns with its priorities, hence why Josh Shapiro delivered that.
It makes you wonder what the priorities of the USDA are, doesn't it?
Indeed, and Josh Shapiro wonders that as well. For those on the ground, the explanation that the USDA provided for cutting that program doesn't really fly. Governor Shapiro said that the state made several good faith efforts actually to reach out to our friends at the USDA, including multiple appeals and then direct outreach to USDA leadership, including Secretary Rowlands, before turning to legal action. So now the state argues that USDA's cancellation of this program is not just a policy change, it's also a violation of federal rules. The USDA has let me know, actually, in the recent past, that they don't comment on pending litigation, and they referred questions to the Department of Justice, which actually in this case also declined to comment to Farm and Dairy. But the impact of their decision will probably soon be felt in food banks, on the farms that were enrolled in this program, and in homes all across all 67 Pennsylvania counties. So not good, but moving over to you, Rachel, to tell us something about more optimistic.
Okay, yeah, thanks for all of that, Paul. Okay, so the progress section is back. We run 2 of these each year, back to back. So this is the first week in the June 12th issue. And the theme for this year is Embracing the Future. Here's what it looks like. So we have stories about artificial intelligence, nice. Using drones in ag and data centers, the impact on land use and how legislators are dealing with them. As well as a variety of business features and profiles. And one of those features is on Dickinson Cattle Company in Belmont County, Ohio.
Wow.
So the company was started by Daryl Dickinson, who started breeding Texas Longhorn cattle in 1967. Now he has shipped semen, Texas Longhorn semen, across the country, which is the United States, and then also to 33 different countries.
Wow, yeah.
Which is a lot of places to ship semen. And one of the neat things that he does to test his cattle to make sure that they're the best is IQ testing.
No way.
Yes, like to see if they can belong in Mensa. I guess he started doing this in the 70s, and they're judged on things like herd manners or how quickly they learn halter training, things like that.
Wow.
Which that's just one little nugget of what's in the story. Daryl Dickinson is a really interesting guy.
Yeah.
And he gave our contributing writer Ashley Button a great tour of his farm. And he has a lot of really cool stuff to say about marketing, his success in his business, and also some tidbits about how he feels about government regulation. So check out that full story in the Progress edition.
Excellent. I'll have to check that out. Well, as we all know, that AI is not just a Silicon Valley pipe dream anymore. It's plowing into your fields out there, our farmers. In April, a group of farmers and tech experts actually gathered at the CIFT Agribusiness Forum, where I actually attended as well, to talk about how artificial intelligence is changing farming right now. So for decades, AI used to mean most farmers. It used to mean the birds and the bees for bulls, as it were. But as Andrew Dreerup, of 20-year precision ag veteran, put it, today's AI is less about livestock and more about logistics. So that's cool. He told those in attendance that AI essentially is like a calculator. It's calculating what you want. What you tell it you want calculated.
So it's not like the scary AI that takes over the world like we see in films, or like what's that movie with Will Smith?
iRobot.
Yeah. It's not like that.
Classic. It's not like that anymore.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, and Andrew was very quick to dispel any sense that it may become that, although he says he certainly hopes it doesn't. So that's an optimistic note.
Well, that'll help me sleep at night.
Yeah, indeed. It's ready farm, ready tech right now that's supposed to cut costs, save time, and then solve problems that farmers can't always see coming. Dreerup shared one story from a soybean field, so dusty that he was not even able to see 5 feet in front of the combine that he was helping to operate. But the AI did, saw what he and his partner could not, and they were able to solve this problem on the fly and do the work with the combine that they couldn't do otherwise, manually. AI is actually being trained also right now to log every call from farmers, from breakdowns to basic questions, any sort of troubleshooting that, farmers might need on the fly. Creating a searchable database that could help technicians fix problems before they even show up, which would be really helpful. Meanwhile, autonomous tractors, which I think a lot of people think about, like when you think AI, you think self-driving tractor.
Yeah.
Already rolling out in Ohio's fields just this past spring. DREARUP did actually share one example that I did not include in the article that I wrote. I wrote this article, by the way, about the tractors autonomously rolling trepidatiously towards a house that was not supposed to be run over by a combine, prompting him to call his insurance broker to make sure that they actually had coverage in case it plowed through someone's living room.
See, these are the things we're not thinking about with AI. But
right. What would Will Smith do? I don't know. In this situation, luckily, nothing of that sort happened. Although it did remind me of that story that you can Google about that guy that was reading Harry Potter in his self-driving Tesla that got hit by a train.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a story, an example of AI gone wrong, but that sort of thing has not happened yet.
Or perhaps
in
operator
agriculture.
error?
Right, a little bit of both, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, for sure. But the kids are already getting involved with AI as a partnership between Microsoft and FFA has meant the rollout of this program where students are learning to build real-time crop monitoring systems and apply AI to real-world ag challenges, which you can read more about in the progress report.
Okay, one more progress story for you on the other type
Please.
of AI. We have a profile on the CEO of Select Sires. David Thorbon was selected as the National Dairy Shrine's 2025 Guest of Honor, which recognizes an exemplary dairy leader for his or her accomplishments and contributions to the dairy industry.
Nice.
So, David grew up on a 600-acre registered Holstein dairy farm in north central Ohio, but he apparently didn't think that there would be room for him to join the farm, which does happen with various generations and different kids. So he went to school for dairy science, went to OSU, and he graduated, and he wanted to stay in the industry, so he went into the breeding and genetics side of things.
Cool.
He first worked for a company called ABS, and then he joined Select Sires in 1999, and he has been there ever since.
Nice. That is very exciting.
So under his leadership, the company has grown immensely. They've increased sales. One of the stats that I thought was pretty illustrative was that they increased sales from 6 million units of semen to over 24 million units of semen.
That is so much semen.
Yeah, it's a lot of semen.
Wow.
So good job, guys.
Yeah.
The Select Sires, which is based in Plain City, Ohio, is now the country's largest cattle semen collection and distribution company. So they do it all, guys.
Yeah.
David is going to be honored at a ceremony in September in Wisconsin.
Nice job, David.
Yeah. So out of the progress and back into the regular paper, we have the second installment of the racing report this year in our rural marketplace.
Love the racing report.
So this year, this time, our photojournalist friend Matt Chasney followed newbie sprint car racer Brian Razum as he went up against the big dogs in the World of Outlaws sprint car series at Attica Raceway Park.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. It was really cool that they gave us access to that. So thank you, World of Outlaws. So by day, Brian is an IT specialist living in Lakewood.
Shout out Lakewood.
Which is a nice Cleveland suburb, I guess.
I
Paul
love
lives in
Lakewood.
Cleveland. Okay. Yeah. But so that's what he does during the day. And his off time, he races in the 305 division at the Attica Fremont Championship Series.
Nice. Super cool.
Which I guess is sprint car stuff. He's only been doing this for a couple of years, literally just 2 years, but he's really hell-bent on making improvements to his times and his skills. So yeah, he's not just racing against other racers. He's really competing with himself, which I think is really neat. And the story talks about that and talks about the way in which he does that. He uses being an IT specialist. He uses data and information, and he's also very superstitious. So Matt goes into that, and there's lots of gorgeous photos. I just want to show off. We had room to do a 2-page spread. So here's what it looks like. Hopefully you're all seeing that. And there are a lot more photos on the website as well. So check out the racing report in the paper this week or online at farmanddairy.com. And I think that's all we have.
I believe so. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for another rendition of our weekly roundup. To read these stories in the paper, you may check out our website, and that is at farmanddairy.com, or find your local newsstand. And you want to send us off? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me again. I appreciate it. Liz Parch will be back next week. Do not worry. She still works here.
And we'll see you then. All right. Bye, everyone.